guys. Welcome back to the Great Print Podcast. I'm Amanda.
I'm Sadie.
Rick.
And shout out to Seamus
That's
from
a fact,
Trust the
Seamus.
System Podcast
Sabi
for getting
Blanc.
us
Hooking
lit.
us up tonight.
Yeah. Let's hope I can still speak tonight. All right. So let's get into it. What do you do? What do you does for a living besides this podcast?
Well, I bartend. And this podcast.
Really taking the shine away from Seamus there, are you?
Oh, well, no, he's way better than I am. No.
No, well, I mean, it's well documented. I cook for a living, so, there's that, and it takes up a lot of my time.
Yes.
With that being said, go ahead.
And you?
Yeah. I'm an administrator at a hospital, and it's a lot more boring
Administrating
than
that pussy.
No, it sounds pretty boring.
Yeah, it's a lot more boring than it sounds, but it pays the fucking bills.
That's what I'm talking about.
Insurance, 401.
All right, what the hell are we talking about?
Okay, so we all got,
Day jobs.
day jobs.
That is apparent, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately. Do you ever find yourself hanging out with your coworkers?
Little flat.
Sorry.
I feel like it takes a lot for me to do that. Like, I have to see, like, who breaks the rules and who's the work snitch. So I kind of, like, separate them.
The work snitch.
Yeah, because, like, there's always that
Oh,
person
absolutely.
Yep.
that's, like, such an op for no reason. Like, you're, like, twice my age. Get a life.
Showing your boss your Instagram stories.
I mean, like, what the hell? I swear it was sick. But, yeah, and then I decide, like, okay, let's see how we are, like, during lunch. Cool. Let's see if we get drinks after work. Okay, cool. Maybe you can get my Instagram. But, like, for the most part, like, as far as most of my coworkers know, I have no social media.
Sounds too strategic. Like,
It is.
For me, it's none of that. Like, it's just, I get a feel for someone, So I'm not like, oh, we're all working together, so we have to hang out now. Like, no, I get a feel for you, and I could tell good people, and I could tell slimy, sleazy,
Yeah.
sneaky, slithery snakes. So with that being said, it's like, it just happens naturally where it's like, because we're spending that time around each other and we're really getting to know each other, and it's something that's happening organically and genuinely, then, maybe we'll get a drink or, here and there, get a little bite or whatnot. And most times it happens in a group setting where it's like we all fuck with each other. The interesting kind of, I guess, situation that I find myself in the last 5 years or so is as you climb up the ladder in management, you kind of have to be a little bit more distant and picky and choosy with who you do that with and whatnot. Like,
Because, wait, isn't that a rule, though? Like, you're not supposed to hang out with...
depending on the establishment, it's one of those things that, like, for the most part, it's frowned upon.
Yeah, it's like upper management can't be hanging out with your employees.
Yeah, because then, things get dicey. You know what I mean? Because now you think you're my friend.
Yes.
And you very well may be. But you got to be careful who you do that with. Because so long as they understand that, like...
There's a
You're the
boundary.
boss.
Yeah. And, like, at the end of the day, you're not going to get off the hook because we had drinks,
Right.
last Thursday. And, like,
Yeah.
I'm still here to conduct my job. And, like, you're not going to
reprimand
get
you
in the
if
way
I
of
need
that.
to, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have to be picky and choose. It just, goes back to that, like, don't shit where you eat type deal. And, but like, when, like, I'll do it with management, with other, like, we'll go out and we'll, because we have, first off, you have that relationship because you're dealing with each other and you understand the stresses.
Right.
So, but like, yeah, with generally speaking, it's just something that's not that calculated. Like Sadie was saying, for me, it's just like, I fuck with you guys. Let's go get a drink. Let's go just vibe.
Yeah, I feel like I've met some, like, even till this day, like, I've met some people that, like, we met at work and we no longer worked at that establishment, but we still maintain the friendship. I've met some of my friends at my jobs, yeah, for sure.
But is there like an age difference or is it people around your age? Because I'm always the youngest
yeah,
person at my departments every time.
I feel like it's like people like a little older, maybe a little younger, but like more or less same age group.
Like I hate when I hear, "Oh, I have a daughter your age." I'm like, okay.
Well, yeah, I
Give a
feel like
shit.
in that sense, like I feel like there's very little that you may be able to like connect on. Like you guys don't have that much in common if there's that big of an age difference. I mean, not
Yeah.
always,
Yeah.
but
I mean, sometimes because there are some coworkers I've had that like we no longer work in the same department, but like we're still cool. We have each other on social media. Like I'll do the whole social media thing after I leave, and that determines like picky and choosy. I'm very picky and choosy. Like I've had a coworker get upset and like tell my boss, "Oh, Sadie doesn't really talk to me," and then my boss was like, "Oh, what's going on?" I was like, "I talk to her, just not about my personal life." Like we talk about work-related things. Like
that's a little weird.
yeah, but like I try.
Sadie's mixy.
I'm not mixy. I just don't fuck with people. Like
I feel
Moody,
like that's
rather.
a little
Moody.
weird because if you're maintaining just like a level of professionalism,
That's what
like
I'm
for
trying to do.
yeah, for that person to like go out of their way to be like, oh, well, she's not really talking to me. It's like
that's like starting some shit.
like I don't have to be your friend. Like we
Right.
work together. Like
Right.
that's weird.
Forced, all forced.
It
It's
is.
just like, you know,
Yeah.
it's either going. First off, let's identify this, right? Being in the food industry, you're constantly spending your time around these people. So I'm seeing them more than I'm seeing my significant other, my family, my friends. I mean, I just had a stretch from September to literally the end of January where I only saw these people. You people didn't see me for months. You know, I couldn't even shoot the podcast. I was so like drenched in work that, yeah, naturally, the only social life that I do have is if I do leave at like, you know, midnight and I grab a drink down the block for a little bit and then head home afterward. Otherwise, I'm gonna lose my mind because I'm literally going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. So, yeah, you develop a rapport with people. At least I do, and I think, you know, I'm not a dick. I've worked with enough dickheads that like, you know, the way that I manage, it's fair. People respect that. They, you know, so. You know, I get these relationships that are natural, that are organic,
Yeah.
that we feel each other, and you just develop a sense of care for each other, and that's that. That would, you know, piggybacking on our last episode, that would go into, you know, acquaintances, and these are people that oftentimes, honestly, if you look at my friend group, most of which. They started in the industry because you're spending your time
Yeah.
like crazy around. Like I wouldn't be surprised if my wife is a bartender or a maitre d,
Yeah.
or like, you know, it's just that's where you're spending all your time.
That's what
So-
one of our previous episodes, like we had mentioned like dating people, like do you shit where you eat, but in terms of like dating people that you work with. And I feel like I had made that point where it's like that's where you're spending so much of your time. So I feel like the same way it applies to like you meeting someone you might date, like you could very well find friendships at your job. And I remember like sorry, not that I remember, but specifically at the job that I'm at now, I think it's a very different culture that like my boss has implemented where he really, and I know other places are like this where everyone is family, like we're just one big family, you know?
Yeah,
But there's only at my bar, there's just 3 bartenders and then the owner. And we're very close knit, like, and he wants it that we're basically like friends with each other. Like he takes us out like every other week, if not every week. He'll take us all out to dinner and
Yeah.
That's
like
good.
on him. Yeah. And it's the nicest freaking thing. And like we really all do get along. Like it's almost
Yeah.
like he has these like bonding moments like built in for us.
yeah.
And I feel like it totally
That dictates everything.
yeah, like it kind of set the tone to like how we are with one another. And especially I love things like, you know, if someone wants to call out or whatever, the fact that we have built this level of, I know how you feel about this word, but this level of friendship with one another, it's like, you ever have like one of your coworkers want to call out from work and they hit you with like, oh, I woke up and I'm not really feeling good today. Like, do you think you could cover me or whatever? But you just feel like it's some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd rather you just
Not
be
a-
real
not a
and
thing
be
in my
like,
field,
yo, I'm
but I
hungover.
understand.
Yes.
Like,
So-
just cover me.
that's one thing that I love. There have been moments like that, but it's not bullshit. It's just like, yo, like, I'm really not feeling it today. Like, can you please cover me? And it's just like, all right, heard you. Like, and I have it in the back of my mind that like there very well might be a day where I feel the same way, or I don't want to work because there's an event that I want to go to, and I'm not gonna feel like I can't be honest about that because
Right.
you called me last week wanting to call out because you were too hungover. It's like it just leaves this level of like respect for everyone
Absolutely.
to
To just be honest.
yeah, just be real,
Yeah.
and there's no.
I think the only way that could be effective is if it's genuine from the get, and it sounds like your
Right.
boss puts an emphasis on it to make sure that it's understood that it is genuine.
And that's
like
exactly
for
what it
example,
is.
when I come into a new account, I remember when I started my last job and I came into this new account, my company had this thing of like saying we're family, and I always hate when
that.
jobs say that because people ain't fucking here for families. We have families. People are here for money. They're here for money. We're here to get paid. Okay, miss me with the family shit. It doesn't resonate with someone like me, and I know a lot of people that doesn't. You have kids. You're trying to pay bills.
Right.
Fuck that. You know. So I remember I came in and I had a meeting with my staff, and I said, "Listen, I want to tell you guys a little bit about me. You're never gonna hear this family shit from me. Okay? You're gonna hear it from me if it's genuine. When we are an actual family. Right now, we're not a family. Right now, we're people here for paychecks, including myself. Okay? All I'm asking for is that the same way I'm going to be real with you guys, I'm going to hold you guys to a standard. I'm going to be real. You guys hold me to that same standard. It's going to be respect. It's going to be honesty, and we're going to go off that. And then once that's established, they're like, oh, wow.
There's a
because
trust.
people respect that forwardness.
Right.
Well, my fault. I didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to add something too, though.
Go ahead.
Well, when I worked at Costco, I had a supervisor named Robbie, and he's probably the only coworker in the whole history of ever working I hung out with. And that, you just gotta find somebody that's cool, cool people, and it actually benefits. I think, it's a blessing and a curse, but I think, depending on who it is, it's a blessing because Robbie, we hung out outside. We went to like a sneaker convention in the city, and we hung out and spent the whole day together. He bought me lunch and all that shit. And it actually made it easier for me at work because now he understands like I'm a cool dude. He don't gotta yell at me, and he kind of went easy on me because
For sure,
we're kind of
right.
boys now. As a supervisor, when the manager used to yell at me like, "Yo, you need to be faster. You got my back. Yo, let me help you out with this. Let's get it done."
That's
Right.
right.
Because we hang out outside of work, and so like we all humans too at the end of the day.
100%.
That's exactly when you I like to. I'm not gonna come off the bat talking like let my actions speak for it, So I'll let you'll see that I give a fuck about you because genuinely I think you get the most out of people when they know you genuinely give a fuck about them. That's how I operate. So but that's to be established, by your actions and in time. It's not forced.
But I
You
feel
guys
like-
know how much I hate forced.
Yeah, but I feel like, as you said, being in management, it sets the tone. Like, my boss is super cool. Like, he gets everyone together, and he's pretty much real with everyone about what's going on and doesn't leave anyone in the dark about what's going on with, like, management, higher-ups, like, any conversations that are had, the whole department is aware of. And it feels good knowing that, like, okay, there's somebody that gives a shit whether I'm here or not.
Yeah.
And then it sets the tone for everyone else because if someone says, oh, hey, I'm not going to be in this day or I'm leaving early, I'm like, okay, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do. Like, I'm the type of person that I'm like, okay, I can handle shit whether I have people working with me or I'm working by myself.
Yeah.
But, like, I know that when I take off, everything is fine. Like, I hate when, like, if someone was to take off and then you go in and they leave you with, like, all the bullshit to clean up, or it's like, I got to double check your work or whatever. Like, for me, I leave everything very, like, there's no question about anything. Like, everything is in an email.
Uh-huh.
There's no need to call me. There's, you know, there's no mess left to clean up or nothing to follow up on because everything is done. But I feel like you have to set that tone.
So it's funny we're having this conversation because I actually today I went to my job to pick up my stuff from my office and clean it out. So my last day was yesterday. So
Oh, you told them.
yeah.
I didn't know
No,
that.
it's
Okay.
done. I'm done. So
Oh, I forgot that, like, you were leaving, that I remembered you got the other one. So I'm like, when are you starting?
Yeah, so I wrapped it up and
Okay.
I cleaned out my office yesterday and I went there to pick up all my stuff and my equipment and my books and all that. So I go there. There's this I have this front of the house waitress. She's this older Jamaican lady. Her name's Charmaine. I love her, right? She's like 52. She's always flirting with me. My handsome chef.
Aww.
You know, she's like, oh my God, he cooks the best. Cause that's how I got her off my cooking. She's like, oh my God, chef. Cause she could cook her ass off too, like most
Yeah.
Caribbean
No,
women.
it's definitely like when
You
I
know.
realized I wanted to be your friend.
And so,
Damn it, you got him
You know-
when he was good. I got him when he was starting.
like, and so yeah, so she gravitated towards me, but she's been out of work the last month and a half because she's been out taking care of her husband who has cancer, right? So she's been out. I haven't had the chance to let her know, like, I'm out of here. So she came back today and was like, where's Chef Rick? And they're like, he quit. And she started crying, right? So yeah, she started crying. So I come in I came in like 11 o'clock and I'm like, is that my girl? So she's like, she's like, Chef Rick. Like, and she like leaped in my arm. She goes, she goes, I was so fucking pissed off. She goes, I can't believe I said he left me without, I said, I would never leave you, girl. She goes, that's right. She goes, cause she goes, she goes, once my husband kicks the bucket, I'm waiting for you.
Oh my God.
She goes, you know, this is here, hot and ready, waiting. I'm like,
No, she didn't.
she had me
Wow.
rolling. She
Holy
goes,
shit.
it's just a matter of time, chef. I'm like, you're
Not
sick.
her counting down.
You're sick. But she's just, that's how they joke around. The point being is like, my last day, I'm their boss, but I had this rapport with them that they all respected me because I respected them.
Right.
And they knew I was fair. So last day, chef, take my number down. Let me get your number wherever
Right.
you
Yeah,
are.
didn't
Let
one
me
of your
come with you.
didn't one of your coworkers like invite you to their wedding?
Yeah. Well, one of my employees, yeah, he invited me to his wedding.
Yeah, they must love you.
And
Did he ask
that-
you to cook?
No,
That would be fucked
no,
up.
no. But yeah. So you make these connections
Right.
along the way. You make these connections along the way, and they just I don't believe in them being forced. They're not.
Yeah.
I'm not obligated. And
Yeah.
neither are they. It's just when people genuinely care about you.
Yeah.
Like I'm actually going out next week with my whole crew from over there. Like we're going out for dinner and because we made that connection.
Yeah.
I like making connections with people I work with. I feel like it's the only not the only acceptable time, but it is definitely an acceptable way of making new friends. It's like someone that you worked
some
with.
time go by
Because they're the
before
only
I do
ones that understand. They're the only ones that understand that, like, you're in the trenches.
Yeah.
And you
You're
go
in
through
the
like
trenches.
the day-to-day bullshit with
It's-
that person.
Especially when you're doing like stressful work.
Yeah.
I think you just grow very tight. That's why you see people like police officers. They're very tight. I think any career that you're spending a long amount of hours,
Right.
the stress levels are high,
Yeah.
and that there's high expectations. I think you're just naturally going to make those relationships.
You know what's crazy? Because I feel like, how I talked about in the last episode when a new friend comes along and it's like they're joining season 5. I was that new person in my department. I'm like the last one to join. And then, like I'm not saying treading lightly, but I'm just like kind of just feeling everyone out. I get it, like getting to know each other. I'm not the type of person to be that personable so quick, so soon.
Yeah.
So I'm
and then
just
you
like-
also have the little tippy toe walks. And they're like,
just like,
who's this little, Tinkerbell bitch?
Who's this ballerina?
Not Tinkerbell, that's cute.
See, he has that little.
But like, because I'll be having such a bad day, and because I'm still new, I can't talk to anyone. So I'll be like, either in my car or the conference room, I'm like crying, and then I come out, I'm like, fine. And everyone's like, are you okay? I was like, my contacts.
Damn.
My allergies.
That's why you gotta like have your work wife. Like that's your work bestie.
That's so funny that you say
You know
that.
what? I
Yeah.
had a work bestie, but now she got a position where she works remotely. So we're always like, like talking over Teams. Again, like my boss is like super cool. He like reminds me of my dad and uncle because he's always giving like all this advice and like, so it's cool. But I feel like again, it also varies on the age because again, I'm the youngest. I've always been the youngest everywhere I work. So it's it's a different. I don't know, like some people say, oh, are you going to like the holiday party? I'm like, no, like I spend enough time here. I don't want to.
I got so fucked up in that last year. The videos are embarrassing.
No, but it's like, I feel like I spend enough time at work that I thoroughly enjoy not being there. That that's where I don't want my worlds to collide.
Yeah, I've been blessed. I've had a lot, like, I love my coworkers and just my team, where my employees, whatever. I connect with these people because I'm personable. I'm personable, so I just naturally get these relationships.
You guys ever experienced a time where like you befriended someone that you worked with and it kind of like backfired or just ended badly, didn't go the way you expected?
Yeah.
Backstabbed?
No,
Yeah.
because I kind of feel it out from the jump. Like I can tell like who's the work snitch, who's cool. Like I feel like if you've gotten to the point with me where I'm adding you on social media and we're cool, then I'm sure about you. You know what I mean? Like I take my time for that reason. Because I would hate to feel like backstabbed at work and I gotta fucking see you every day. Like
There's two elements to that, to answer your question. Yes. One of them is when I have befriended somebody who is one of my employees and they feel as if because they're in good standings with me, they could slack off a little bit because
Yeah.
bend the rules.
Chef Rick got my back. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, Brody, come here real quick. Now we gotta have a talk in the office. Like,
But I feel
you
like
can't-
there's a time and place. Like as long as everything is done and everything is
my thing is don't
not at work. No.
cross me.
Yeah.
Because now you're trying to. I feel like now you're trying to see how my heart beats. Let's see. Oh, will he press me?
Right.
Or how much could I get away with? You're gonna find out.
That's awkward.
Because if it comes down to you and me, it's gonna be you. like that's one.
Right.
The other element of when I was younger, it was, and that's one thing that you gotta I've always very cognizant about now, is when you have romantic relationships with somebody who works for you, and
That sounds kinky.
they, because of that, they especially feel as if they're emboldened because, well, I have a special relationship with boss man, and it's like, no, bitch, get back to work. Run along now. You make any look bags. Dog.
I got a crazy story about that, man, how that shit backfired. Not to me, thank God.
Yeah.
I believe it or not, I used to work at Whole Foods.
Oh.
And
love Whole Foods.
I had lived in Portchester. I had two roommates. Both my roommates had worked at Whole Foods with me too.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, this dude's name is I'm probably gonna edit that out. Because this guy wowed the fuck out, bro. He looked like a big Spanish dude, hairy, kind of low self-esteem dude, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
There was a girl named, I'm gonna edit this out, but her name is I'm gonna edit the hell out this shit because this shit is crazy. And basically Shelby was like she's a white girl. She kind of was built, you know what I mean? She
Yeah.
wasn't all that.
Yeah.
I was not my type.
Uh-huh.
But she was like the store flirt. And
Ah.
Ricky, the gamer that he is, like the gamer type of vibe that he is, like the big Fortnite, hairy, nerdy guy.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? And he shot his shot.
Okay.
And they hung out. He brought her back to the apartment. Mind you, this guy, he's definitely a German. And by German, I mean virgin. Okay? So he takes her to the room, yada, yada, yada. Long story short, I guess he got her drunk. And I don't want to say no. But he tried to.
Oh no.
Yada, yada. You know what I mean? And she didn't know. She had no idea.
Oh.
That's fucked up.
And long story short, I guess he thought that he was in the he thought anything wrong with. I mean, they didn't have sex, but I guess he felt her up and shit while she fell asleep on his bed or whatever. And I guess she was cool with it or whatever, or didn't know. But long story short, he ended up sending her dick pics and shit because he got too comfortable, and he ended up getting fired.
Oh shit.
And that backfired for everybody. that backfired for me because I had to move out because he couldn't pay rent anymore. So
Damn.
That story was horrific.
yeah, this guy was a crazy guy, man.
But
He swore every time he got a haircut, he swore he was a Rico Suave. He was just Rico Sucio.
Yo.
Ew.
Yo, look, honestly, we gotta talk about that. Sometimes a haircut could be a man's worst enemy. We just feel like we could fuck anyone's mom, you know, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous. But to his point, that's something that I realized at a young age because I fucked up. I would use that power, if you will, or abuse that power a little bit. You know what I mean? Because
What, alcohol?
no, the whole like, you know, you're climbing up the ranks, and there are women that look at that and they're like, ooh, oh, and so you get a little bit more, I guess, gestures or requests
Options.
or opportunity presented to you when that's the case, and you have to be disciplined because one thing you can't do is fuck up the bag over some
Absolutely.
booze.
Well, I already said this a few episodes back. Like, my boyfriend works in a different department.
Well, I have this. So a few years back, I want to say like 6 years ago, I was working at this restaurant that had just opened up, and I remember I was probably there for like the first 8 months, and within those 8 months, we had like maybe like 4 or 5 different managers that had came and went, and one of the managers I remember becoming like pretty cool with, and then he was like training me to be the assistant floor manager.
Uh-huh.
And then he seemed pretty normal in the very beginning, and he was like, I don't know, showing me the ropes and stuff. I was like doing the schedules and stuff and figuring out like who has what tables.
I see where this is going.
No, so you probably don't. But he started to get comfortable with the fact that he was training me, and like we were cool and whatever. And then little by little, he started to like leave the restaurant and then just like, Amanda, like watch the floor for me. Like I'll be back. Watch the floor. Like you got this. Like, all right, cool. Like he's, you know, leaving me with a little responsibility.
Uh-huh.
And then time goes on, and these little breaks that he was taking kept getting longer and longer. And he just started to get fucking weird. Like he would come back and he's like, I don't feel good. I'm gonna go sit in the office, be gone for like a hot fucking minute. Some time passes, and it comes out that he has a fucking heroin problem.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he had a fucking heroin addiction, and I remember, like, I don't know, point of my story is like, because like he had his own fucking issues, but because of that, like he was leaving me with the restaurant for longer than like I could handle, and it was just like I remember like times I'm calling him, I'm like, it's so fucking busy, like it's so packed, like I don't know what to do, like we have people waiting, blah blah. He's fucking disappearing, and anyway. Long story short, like he ended up getting fired. I remember like our kitchen was downstairs under the restaurant. And I remember one day he was like coming up the stairs, and he was holding like one of those huge trays that holds like maybe like 8 plates, some shit like that. And he was like walking up the stairs and just like falls right into the wall, and like all the plates fall. Like he got fired that day. I mean, it's not so much like it sucked that like he was relying on me because like he was getting closer to me than like any other employee in the restaurant, but it was hard on me, like having to manage all the shit that's going on, and then just to come to find out that like he has this massive fucking drug problem. Like I felt like I was taken advantage of just so he can like fucking
That's
go
funny.
off.
I
and,
have
like,
a few stories
and,
like that,
like,
but we don't gotta get
do
into
whatever
that.
he please. Yeah, he ended up getting fired. Someone actually came to the restaurant after he was fired and came with like a gun to the back
Here's
door.
my
Oh,
money.
my God.
Yeah, and was looking for him because like he owed the guy money or whatever. But yeah,
That's scary.
motherfucker came in strapped, like ready to go.
Yeah, that's the industry.
But yeah, so you gotta watch out, like
Depends
who's trying to befriend you
Yeah.
in the industry, because it can go left real quick.
Yeah, people, I mean, you know, it's like anything else. People, they'll latch on to you for clout. They'll latch on to you for opportunity. you got to be a good judge of character in life.
Yeah.
And I remember
life.
like going through that and then completely second guessing myself because it was like the fact that he had seen potential in my ability to become the floor, I forgot what it was, the fucking floor manager or whatever. But because I learned that he had this fucking drug problem, I was like, am I even doing a good job? Like I was like completely second guessing like everything that I was doing. It was like, or was he just using me as, like was I the weakest link? Like
Yeah, he needed you to run the floor because he had to do his crack.
But, like,
So
literally.
basically, well, before we wrap up, my fault though. Before we wrap up, I just wanted to ask you guys, what is like your staff party etiquette? Are you like when you have like a holiday staff party or a staff party or a holiday party or do you guys get turned the fuck up and show out? You wild out, or you guys like be like, oh, we're still in a business setting?
No, I don't go.
Wild out. No, I wild out.
I'm still like we're in a business setting, but
Right.
like I'll still like have fun. I'll still dance and like be silly me, whatever, but to an extent. Like I'm not
I'm
like
wilding
I'm not
out.
twerking and shit. Like
Nah,
Nah,
you know
I
what it
just-
is? At that point in time, they've already been around me for X amount of time that they know, like, open bar, I'm letting loose. First off, because you have that group of like boars. Someone's got to get it kicking. Someone's got to get it started. So yeah, I'm dragging people onto the dance floor. I'm over here spinning people around.
You know what
like,
it is? Like my
you know-
But that's
social
good fun.
anxiety
You know-
won't let me go to that.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm having gangbangs like
No.
Yeah.
Like I separate work and my personal life that I'm just like, whoever I'm cool with at work will hang out with me outside of there. I don't feel the need to go to a staff party. I don't like that responsibility.
that
Yeah,
responsibility.
I won't
No.
go to
Yeah,
all of
being
them, but
you-
sometimes.
the responsibility of having that regret of wilding out the next day at work.
No, it's just I have really bad social anxiety too. I'm just like,
or really bad self-control.
no.
I get FOMO though. Like, and I feel like
Really?
yeah.
Yeah,
and
if
it's-
everybody's
work?
talking about the party the next day.
Yes, for that exact
Yup.
reason. Is like I'll get FOMO,
Yup.
and then it's like all the coworkers are chilling. And well, I work at a bar, so there have been
Mm-hmm.
times where like my boss throws events just for like the regular customers that come in, and he'll lock the door, and it's like only a few people.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool. And then as far as like us that work there, the next day everyone's like chopping it up,
Yo.
talking about what happened, and then talking shit about like the customers that like couldn't handle their alcohol, and like, oh my god, you had to see this one, like he was acting a whole fucking
Yup,
fool.
everyone got their
Yeah.
phones out. See, the ones that I was like recently a part of, they had a DJ booth. So I'm on that DJ booth. I'm getting
Oh,
that shit
you know
kicking.
what?
I'm over here.
Hold
Bop,
on.
I got this.
Yeah,
I got this.
that's a
Get
good
the fuck
time.
up. There's a mic over there. I'm out, like,
That's a good time.
You gotta.
I just remembered I did go to a staff party, but it was at a different job. It was when I was bartending. That was fun because like
Yo, do me a favor.
different
One of Sadie's
environment.
coworkers, hit us with the fucking vids.
No.
Hit us with the vids. Because we know she's capping. I want to see her loose.
Yeah, freaking. I would love to see that. Yeah, just like fun videos of when you're out with your coworkers and shit.
Lord knows there's more than enough to go around.
but again, it depends on the industry you're in. And like the level of professionalism you have to keep.
I just feel like this, yes, it more so depends. Like now I got to taper it a little bit because I'm more, like, I would really wild out when I was like just an employee. I mean, like I'm just bugging out. Like what am I?
Like again, like at my job, the staff parties are like with people like twice my age. I don't care to be there.
Yeah, I guess it depends on like the job that you have.
Yeah.
And
See,
what.
I mingle with those people. Like I don't care. I'm taking my 50-year-old like little server. And I'm spinning her around. We're having a good time. Like
Better not.
like. I don't know. I connect with people.
Well, guys, if you have any.
Hold on.
What?
Hold on. I had one more. I'm just curious. I have one more.
Go ahead.
Go
man.
on,
I
go
love this. I
on,
love
go
this.
on.
Have you guys ever had to deal with like a work snitch? You guys say you can't. You got to figure out who the
Fuck
work snitch
yeah.
is. But give me an
work
example of a time when
Oh.
someone
Oh my God. Okay.
blew up your spot for no fucking reason. You could have just minded your business and you telling on me for no reason. I mean, Sadie, you already said something when you said like you don't talk to your coworker about your personal life. But has anybody like tried to get you in trouble?
I got
Yes.
you. I got you.
Yes.
I got you.
Pulling up my Instagram
Go ahead.
and
Go ahead.
shit.
You want to go?
Well, mine's is short and sweet, but
Go
I
ahead.
remember like years ago, I was a teenager. I remember working at a restaurant. I was like the hostess, and I'd fallen asleep at the hostess stand.
How are you seating people?
It was fucking dead. It was really dead. Like, it wasn't like it was busy and I just like, but it was so dead and I was just sitting there for God knows how fucking long and I dozed off, like whatever. But I think it was like one of the bartenders or whatever took a picture of me asleep, like at the hostess stand, and then showed my boss, and I got in trouble.
You could have just said I was praying.
Yo, Angelo.
Like,
yo,
why would you interrupt my prayer?
Right, I should have thought of that.
I was 21, 22, 23, somewhere around there. And we had at my job, we had a pool party. Okay? It's like a yacht club type of deal. So we had a pool party for the employees. I got lit. I got a little, one thing led to the next. Ended up hooking up with Shorty. We go to the bathroom, right? So the Roberto, he was a cleaning guy, right? Roberto comes, he's this old little man, he's in the kitchen. He comes into the bathroom and he goes, "Oh, wey." He goes, "You in trouble, wey. Mucho chinga. And so the girl that I was hooking up with just so happened to be the executive chef's
daughter.
I remember this.
Yeah, you did tell us that. I remember
Yeah.
that. Tell us, though. Tell us, bro.
Yo, your man ratted on me. Your man ratted on me, bro. He went right to him. He told that man came the next morning,
Oh my God.
tapping his. You! He goes, "Get the fuck over here!" Like, oh my God, bro. When I tell
my
you my
God.
heart dropped down to my balls, I'm like, but yeah, ratted on my. He goes,
Damn.
"Oh, mucho chinga, you in trouble, eh?" Yup, I'll never forget. I'm like, fuck, Roberto. Yup,
Yeah,
got me.
That's way worse than falling asleep.
Got me back.
When I worked at Costco, there was this little Spanish lady who tried to get me the fuck out of there by any means, man. Man, I was miserable. Like, when you're depressed, you stop like giving a fuck about yourself and shit.
Absolutely.
Bro, I had the same routine at Costco every morning, 8 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Go to and put these bagels on a tray, put these croissants on the tray. You have to wear a uniform at Costco. It's not a uniform, but you have to wear jeans. You have to wear a collared shirt. Okay, well, I had my one pair of jeans and my one collared shirt. And guess what? I ain't doing laundry. So the shit was stinking, son. And the lady was trying to get me the fuck out of there. I didn't know. I couldn't smell it or anything. But every time she'd walk by, she'd cough. And I hear her
my
bring the
God.
manager to the corner, like, can I talk to you, Miss Ashley? And yeah, she point at me. I'm like, this fucking bitch is a little snitch.
Oh my God.
And I remember I had to talk to her, and I was like, yo, bro, do we have a problem or something? And she started crying. Oh, no, I ain't just worried. And then
Oh,
I'm
not
like,
the tears,
nah,
not
yo.
the fucking tears.
That's when I knew how to get the fuck up out of there. Little work snitch. Oh, I'm bleeping that out too. I'm a name dropper today, boy.
Damn, not you handing out food smelling like sour.
Smell like dirty laundry.
Well, I had the work snitched, but it backfired on them because
You were a work snitch?
no,
Oh.
it backfired on them.
On the work snitch.
Yeah. So like they tried to pull up my Instagram when I went out. Like my stories were still fresh.
Look
it was
at
like,
Sadie Thoughton.
it was like still within the 24-hour period. It's like, oh, because I called out the next day, but I already told my boss I'm not coming in tomorrow because I got this thing tonight, whatever. Like he knew the vibes. Whatever.
So they were trying to like.
Right.
Okay.
So then
That's some shit.
right, fucking bitch. Anyway, she pulls up my stories to my boss. Mind you, my boss is texting me. He's like, "Oh, you won't believe who's talking about you."
Oh shit.
I was like, "What?"
That's why
Not
you
your
can't trust
boss being an
anybody.
instigator.
No, you gotta be careful who you adding on that gram.
No, but she didn't have me on the gram.
Oh, you had your shit public, so
My
she
shit has
found
always
you.
been public.
But she
See,
found
maybe
you?
O been on to something. Maybe that's why he's private for shit like this.
Yep.
Anyway,
Saw that beach pic with the fingers holding the straps.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
the
took that
boat pic.
picture. I took that picture.
yeah, very famous picture. But
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I get them angles.
she do. But so it's funny because I was close with my boss and his family. Not my current boss, my another boss. It was a different job. So I was actually at what was it? His niece's party. So he already knew like she's with my friend's family. Like
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
told him I was like I'm not coming in. Like you see the time I'm leaving. So
See
it
the time I'm on demon time.
so it backfired on that person because he's like, oh, you're instigating. This is almost borderline harassment. He was lecturing that person for trying to snitch on me.
Yeah.
But he already knew what it was. So
Yeah,
that worked out.
okay.
For
That
me.
sounds like a good boss.
Yeah.
To like nip
Yeah.
it in the bud right
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, we don't do this in the workplace. I was like, yeah, let me fucking recover from this hangover.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
there. Shit. But yeah, so if you guys have like any stories about like any weird shit that's gone on in your job.
Let us hear that shit.
Yeah, seriously, that would be really dope.
I know. Like, do you like your coworkers? Do you party with them? Do you hate them? Do you like keep everything separate?
Do they be snitching on you?
Shout out to my
Are you the work
coworkers.
snitch?
Shout out to my employees. I love y'all. Y'all know that. Some of them actually watch religiously.
I was
Aw,
gonna say I
we
got
love you
one
too.
more. My last question.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Do you guys believe in telling coworkers about like the podcast?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let me
Yes.
tell you a story real quick, man. Let me tell you how my life changed when I worked at Costco. I was just a bakery employee at Costco. And at the time I was doing vlogs with my girl. We were just doing shit and recording it and posting vlogs. I showed one person at my job the vlogs, and he ended up telling everybody. And I might have been embarrassed at first, but honestly, once I showed consistency and showed that I was passionate about it, the whole Costco universe knew about it, and I ended up gaining like 200 subscribers because everybody's like, oh, yo, you actually doing it, bro. And they saw the talent in me at the time.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, people that like have a day job and have a dream, don't be afraid to tell your coworkers, because you with the coworkers every day. You got a whole employee lineup. You can get the whole business and then some to follow you and support you, and that's the type of
Amen.
support that we need.
Definitely.
That's
So-
right.
Well-
Listen, I've had people come back to me and give me clips verbatim, cracking up. Like I remember this one clip, the clip that I was talking about, the dyke chick that pulled up on me, and I was like, yeah, I like men. Like there was like 5 coworkers came up to me the next day. They were pissing their pants. The whole management office was pissing their pants. It trickled down to some of my employees. They started following the podcast.
Aw.
Like so,
whole vibe.
yeah, people listen. I definitely, for me, I've never been ashamed of like, hey, like, yeah, no, I venture
Yeah.
outside the kitchen. Here's what I'm doing. Here's what I'm fucking around.
As you should.
Yeah.
And it's cool because you get to people see another light, another realm of you.
Right.
And if they already fuck with you, they're it's a cool
Intrigued.
experience. Exactly, they're intrigued by like, oh wow, and they stay in tune. So yeah,
Yeah.
shout out to the people who still support me to this day on the pod. I appreciate it. And so does the
it.
Great
We
Print,
love
right?
that.
Cheers to y'all.
All right. So that's a wrap for that.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Make sure you follow us on IG _ the Great Print Podcast. Click the link in our bio to catch us on all our streaming platforms. And make sure you also follow Polymath Media Network. Thank you.
Bitch.
Later, guys.
Good night.
Bye.